Hi, I'm Rachel Greenstein here with Mark Citron. This is Frozen Futures, where we discuss and highlight the NCAA's future and rising NHL stars. And the NCAA men's hockey regular season is officially over. We still got some playoff hockey and tournaments left to be played, but we've got some transactions happening too. We have Bennett Shemek, he from ASU, one of our top seniors. He signed with the Abbotsford Canucks. So maybe he'll get a chance to play with our boy Max Sassone. It's there's a possibility there. We love Max.
Yeah.
He had a really good season this year, Bennett. Second all NCHC team, so pretty solid for him. We got Brody Lamb from the Gophers signing with the New York Rangers. God bless his soul. Rangers are really awful with developing young players, so I hope he doesn't go and just rot in Hartford, the Rangers AHL affiliate. They're so hard to watch, the Rangers. They're just brutal. But of course, they forgot that they're supposed to be tanking right now, and suddenly they remembered how to play hockey, so maybe that's a good sign for Brody Lamb. We also got Luke Middlestat from the Gophers, yes, related to Casey Middlestat. He signed with Montreal, and Noah Powell from ASU signed with Philadelphia. Now, continuing on our theme from not the last episode, but the episode before that, because the last episode was just a special little International Women's Day thing, which Abby Murphy did, in fact, win Forward of the Year. Caroline Harvey did, in fact, win Defenseman and Player of the Year, and both of them are finalists for the Patty Caz, which is basically the women's hockey version of Hobie Baker, Best Player in College Hockey. Good stuff from them. But
so who's
before that episode, we did freshmen, so we're gonna do seniors now because
who's
it's around the time.
Patty? Who's gonna win the Patty?
Honestly, it's
since you got them all
Tessa
right.
Janicki, Caroline Harvey, and Abby Murphy for the final. Honestly, I think Caroline Harvey might win it. She's so good. She really is just a complete player.
All great.
No, they are. But we're not here to talk about them right now. We're going to talk about our seniors because end of the season, a lot of them are going to be signing. A little taken. A lot of these guys are going to be signing. Again, it's already started. Brody Lamb.
I don't think anyone's ever said that to me. But we're not going to talk about
Luke Middlestat. We're both seniors, so, and Bennett was also a senior, so seniors are starting to sign, and granted, a lot of them are still playing right now. Like, for example, let's start out with TJ Hughes. You can't really talk about seniors without talking about TJ Hughes from University of Michigan. He's been really fantastic for them this year. We've talked about him a few times. He's kind of an older guy. He's 24 right now. He'll be 25 at the start of the next NHL season, I believe. But he was fourth in scoring in the entire NCAA this year with 48 points in 35 games, 18 goals, 30 assists. Good to see TJ scoring some more goals this season. Pretty comparable to last season as well. He had 38 points, 15 goals, 23 assists. But I like him shooting the puck a little bit more here. He's definitely a more, visual passing player. Kind of tries to set other people up more than he's going to try to score his own goal. But I like when I see these guys shoot the puck. Sometimes selfish hockey is the right answer. It's not always, best to just hold on or pass the puck. Sometimes you have the shot and you should take it.
Yeah.
But
100%.
TJ's definitely going to be an interesting player going into the, signing at the end of the season. Because, again, Michigan is number one. So he's not done playing hockey anytime soon. Because the Frozen Four, I don't think, starts until, the beginning of April. So he's got quite some chunk of time left to play. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon because he's still playing hockey. But it'll be interesting because we've talked about it before, I hope he does too, but it's...
he's like, there's 24. Teams that are interested.
Definitely. Yeah. And again, last year, I believe he was invited to the Rangers development camp, and the year before that, I believe he was invited to Tampa's.
Which basically means it's like here's a Dear John letter or something.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's like what Max said. Like, sometimes nothing comes out of that.
It's like favors and stuff. I mean, it's not even just his opinion. He'll sign somewhere. I mean, there's teams that... He's a forward captain. Even if he's like an AHL depth guy, I mean, so be it.
He'll get some kind of contract for sure.
But he seems like he's the only senior though. Like, it's funny because I was like talking to you about, we did that already, and I guess that was the undrafted
Yeah, that was our
episode.
undrafted special.
And so, zeroing in on some seniors, I mean, yeah, they're like really old. A lot of them, like 20.
Well, yeah, a lot of
So
these guys like they aged out at
they're
junior
not
hockey,
22; they're
which
24.
happens
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
20. That's why see, hockey's super weird. It's its own little world, like especially with the minors and everything. And juniors is so confusing to people because they're like, oh, so it's high school. I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, so it's college, and it's like, no, it's actually neither. But they age out when they're 21, so you get a lot of 21-year-old freshmen in college hockey, which that's how you end up with a player like TJ Hughes, who's 24 and he's a senior. But he'll get a contract. But a lot of these guys I actually have on my list are not drafted. So
Ooh.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, again, I'm sure people have their eyes on them. A lot of these guys are pretty high up on scoring. They've had good seasons. One guy in particular that I think of, and I know you like this guy, Cruz Lucius.
Yeah, he's on
Of
my
ASU.
Yeah.
He was tied for sixth in scoring this year. But yeah, so like Cruz, he wasn't
But
drafted
he's
high. He was drafted
and
super late,
no, and he wasn't
2022.
that really didn't really blossom until. I mean, he had a good sophomore year, but he had a really rough
Yeah, no,
last year. He was
well, his
bad.
transfer season, so he went from University of Wisconsin
Yeah.
to ASU his junior year, and his first year. I mean, granted, like it's hard to look at the sample size because like he has a significant less amount of games played his first year at ASU compared to his years at Wisconsin and his senior year at ASU. So like his first year at ASU, he had 19 games played and 10 points, which it's not bad. It's pretty solid, but had a much better year this year with 36 games
Big,
played, 46 points. That's a
much
big
refreshing.
increase.
He only
Even
had 2
his
goals last year, like
yeah,
19. That's all you need.
yeah,
Even if he's
exactly.
not a
And
goal scorer, it just shows that it was not a good year. It was just in
yeah,
19
even
games.
compared to his year before in Wisconsin, like this year at ASU was a big year for him. I don't know if it's because he was getting actually I'm sure it's probably because he's getting more playing time because Wisconsin has so many guys that would get more playing time over him, which actually I see a lot of people talking about Quinn Finley right now. They're thinking about maybe the Islanders are going to sign him, but we'll talk about Quinn when we get to our juniors episode. We don't care about him right now. And also, we'll talk about Sasha Bovair when we get to our sophomores episode because that guy
Really?
is that guy's totally checked out for BU, which is so funny. He was a healthy scratch their last game because he skipped the morning lift.
It's fun. I mean, it's kind of funny, but
It's kind of
it's
funny,
crazy
but
how those
like,
details can get out to somebody like you. You know?
well, I mean, but it's like, of course, people are asking why is he not playing? Why is he a healthy
He's
scratch?
probably gonna sign. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, he's not trying to hide the
Fuck
fact
that.
at all that he's going to be signing with the Blackhawks. He's not hiding that in the slightest, but it's kind of
I'm
lame
glad
to
they
see
took
him
him.
just completely checked out. That
Or
is
actually, that's not even the guy I was thinking of. It's Boisvert. He's the center, right? From
Sasha
Muskegon. Or
Bovair. Yeah, yeah,
he
he was on
was.
Muskegon. Yeah, yeah, he's a
Yeah.
sophomore now for BU,
Well, that
and
makes
he's just
sense. That
totally
makes
checked
sense.
out. It's a bad
Nice
look,
job, pal.
honestly. It's tough to
Yeah,
look
that
at.
makes sense.
It's
I always think he's a bottom 6 guy too. But good for him.
I don't
You
know.
know,
I mean, yeah,
he's
but it's
got some
like
skill, but yeah, you're gonna have to do that every day in the show, my man. So
right, like it's like seeing him checked out is so not cool because
yeah,
like you have guys like, for example, Michael Hayes, who almost certainly will be signing with Montreal at the end of the
yeah.
season. And he's still playing as hard as he possibly can. So that's lame stuff from Sasha Bovair there. But
I was thinking of the defenseman that Sasha Bo
oh gosh.
something. I
Okay.
don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. He played for Youngstown.
You're gonna
He's
get there.
gross.
You're gonna get there.
Boisvert. I think it's Sasha Bominier. Yeah,
Oh, that's the he was drafted
defenseman.
like last year.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
even know
he's
how to
the
spell Sasha.
fake Finnish guy. Because he's like born in like Finland but plays for Sweden,
Here it
right? Am
is.
I thinking of the right guy?
Sasha Bominian. Yeah,
Yeah,
BU.
he was a
Yeah,
big
he's a first
pick
round.
last
He's
year.
gross. Yeah, he's
I remember
gross. I
him
mean,
being
I
picked
know it's
last
not
year.
a
He's good.
senior. Oh my god.
Well, so I used to work for NHL International, so he was a big deal for us when he was
Sweden.
drafted.
He's gross. I think
Yeah.
that's Winnipeg. It's interesting. They draft, I think, really well. Then none of their guys want to play there, or they get traded, but that's a topic.
There are a couple
for
of teams
time.
that draft really well. Like the Sharks draft really well. That's an unbelievable pipeline the Sharks have. Montreal has drafted really unbelievably well. I mean, look at how well Jacob Fowler is doing right now. We've talked about Jacob Fowler so many times, and he hasn't been in hockey, like college hockey at all since we even started this podcast. But he's such a notable player. Like he really is just incredible. He's been unbelievable.
They have had a few good sleepers. Like I think the best is easily Lane Hudson. He was like a fourth round pick.
Yeah.
It's like that's the definition of how the teams that do their homework, and that is that is insanity to think that now. Because his brother Cole, I think, is like a second or late first or whatever, and it doesn't matter either.
Yeah, Cole was 43rd overall by Washington
right now. It's so funny. Like some of these teams should hire me as a part-time scout. Like I knew that Lane Hudson was going to be unbelievable. Like it was like I'd never seen a player like him, and it's like I can't believe it's just shocking to me. Like if you have just one person be like, we got to take this guy instead of being a freaking tool bag and being all stiff and going around the table and here's my list. Every organization's different, right? But it's just like some of these guys are so full of themselves. Some of them are really great guys.
Well, anyway, it's like going back to what you always say is like you need to like watch them play because like like we were just saying about Cruz Lucius, last season was not a good season for him. But when you watch him play, you can see sparks of that good player.
Definitely.
So
he's always been
you can't just base everything on stats.
It was like Cruz.
Chaz and Cruz. That's a great duo of names there. That's fantastic.
Gentry Academy. Yeah, Gentry.
That's
Galaxy.
Cool.
I think their parents actually, if I'm not mistaken, started but it was like great. Gentry Academy in Minnesota. We're not talking about Minnesota today, I don't think. Anyways, all right.
But wait. I'm surprised you have a Gopher on your list. Let me hear what you think about Luke.
He's always been gross.
I mean, they're that family in general. They're
he's a two-way, undersized defenseman, but he's got really good skill. He's a good skater. He
plays a lot bigger than he actually is.
I don't think he. Yeah, I don't. In terms of his physicality, I still think he's worthy of, and he's a drafted though. That's the thing. He's a 7th. Guess who took him? Montreal.
Yep. And he signed with them.
So the point is, he did sign.
Yeah, he just signed with them like a couple of hours ago. He just signed. Well, you know me with my updates from the Gophers. I get those all the time.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, hey, I mean, it could be you could spend look at a guy like Ryan Ufko. I think he's been in the AHL for 3 or 4 years.
I think that game the other day was like his first this season in the NHL.
His first goal.
I could be wrong about that, but it's definitely one of his first.
Times
I know, but that was a gross goal that he scored.
One of the smartest players I've ever seen. I mean, a hockey IQ on him is
Long Island represent.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I love him. Anyway, but the point is that him and Middlestat are different players. Middlestat's a bigger D, and we're not comparing, but it's like his skating's always been there. So I can still find ways to be effective. It doesn't matter if you're under 6 feet. It's going to be harder, but he's not, I wouldn't say dazzling, but at times he is a patient player. Like,
he's solid.
Knows how to open the seams, knows how to, it's very, like his brother's obviously, he's got that hockey IQ. And hey, 7th round pick. Again, this is just like we're going to take a chance on this kid, but he's a really good player. I don't really have many great notes written down, but yeah, he signed 2 hours ago.
So it's actually interesting.
Points, very consistent though through college. He had
21
that stat line.
As a defenseman for a team that was really bad this year. That's pretty solid. But it's interesting you mentioned his size because I actually recently saw something. There's actually more undersized players in the NHL right now than there are oversized players in the NHL.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are like 5'9" in the league right now who are doing really well in the league too. So, it's like what we always say, hockey's changed, size is always going to be something that people consider, but it might not have as much weight as it used to now. You know,
No, it doesn't. I mean,
I say this all the time, especially when talking about a player like Jaden Perron, like determination, grit, that stuff can't be measured in inches and feet. Like that is just you have it or you don't. And you
inches
can't
and
learn
feet.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
but some of the smaller guys are the ones who are the grittiest, who are really ready to get down and
I
dirty
like
with it. And I
Hudson.
think that's good
That's
with
just
Luke Middlestat. He's not afraid to jump into any situation you need him to
he
be
can
in.
move the puck well though. Like so
He can.
he can play the power play easily. Like he could be on the first unit maybe. I mean, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but like he's very. I would say he's more of just his skating and his. That's where he can have the jump in the rub, blah blah blah. Like always make plays. Like whether that's again on the PP 5-on-5. Obviously, with the contract today, we can no Montreal again. There's a great example too, and so good for him. Congratulations, young man.
Yeah, I
Congratulations.
see Montreal making a good amount of moves after, the college hockey season ends. They've got some really good players in the system, so, and
I wonder
they
how the
need them.
dominoes will fall with these undraft or well these draft, but like even these free agents that sign too, like not even just
Right.
like the obvious ones, but like guys like I don't know, we can keep going because we're doing seniors right now, so that's why I was
Yeah, well,
kind
I
of just
got a
like,
senior that you like. I know you like this guy, and he was part of our undrafted special. Alex Tracy from Minnesota State Mankato. My I feel bad he's my
come on,
only goalie
somebody's
on
got
this
to
list.
sign this guy. I mean,
Someone's got to sign this guy. They
unless
really
he's a
he's a
total
goalie of the
douchebag.
year finalist. Last year he
I
was
mean,
the
even if he was,
only
I mean, good.
goalie who was a finalist for the Hobie Baker. Like this guy's got to get signed somewhere. He's been really good. He's been Mankato's number one guy for a while now. This year he had 36 games played. Like that's that's solid. You know, less than 2 goals against, 1.8, 0.92 save percentage.
Yeah, he's
It's
had
almost
some big wins.
93% of the shots that he's facing is being saved. You know, he had a better season actually last season, but not by a whole lot. Like he's very consistent and he's a really good goalie. I think a lot of teams are struggling with goaltending. That seems to be a pretty common theme for not to name any names, Edmonton Oilers. So maybe Alex Tracy might be someone that could be interesting to them because again, goaltending's a little all over the place in the
Yeah, like
NHL right now. Like it's a little tough. It's a little tough to
interesting.
watch. But
We're gonna have to have a goalie episode one day
I know we really
because
do. We need to get
I'm
someone who can like really talk about it though. One guy that we've actually talked about before in the context of a contract actually, and I don't think he's signed yet. Charlie Stramel from
oh I was gonna talk about him, but he's a
Michigan
first
State. Well,
round
go
pick.
ahead. He is for 21st overall by Minnesota in 2023. Go ahead. What did
Oh,
you want to talk about with him?
I'm not like on the edge of my seat here, but I was like, like God damn it, didn't think you were gonna say him. So I just like the player. He's regardless of where he's taken, he should be signed. I don't know. Is the Frozen Four like interfere with this, or because he's a Michigan
Yeah, they're
State
not
guy?
gonna. None of these guys are
Yeah,
gonna like. The only person I'm really surprised hasn't signed is Cruz Lucius,
yeah,
because their season's done. So I'm
could
surprised that
be.
he hasn't signed anywhere yet.
He probably
For
will.
all we know, he could be in the process of doing it right now. Right, because Pittsburgh owns his rights. He was drafted by Carolina, but his rights were traded and he's owned by Pittsburgh. But
Yeah,
once
and the
you
Jay Cancel
graduate,
trade.
like you don't have any obligation to sign with the team that drafted you. It just so happens that Luke Middlestat and Brody Lamb did sign with the teams that drafted them. But if you graduate, there's no like direct claim
That's
to you.
true.
You could go anywhere.
That's true,
So
but you might as well take it. I mean, you'd
right,
think, well,
like
if the
they've been watching you this whole time. So I mean, but it happens.
yeah, sure. And Charlie Schramel's a player that got some piss and vinegar in him. He's actually a lot bigger too. Now, I mean, 6'3", some change. Um, However, I just think he's drafted by Minnesota, I believe. I think he's like a first-round pick.
He was 21st overall in 2023.
Yeah. So, again, I like this player. He's got some good wheels on him, too. He's kind of dangerous in the areas below the dots, like behind the net. I call it the elbow grease area. I thought the two corners makes those plays behind the net.
Well, it goes into like his ability to create space in very small
but good
areas.
Skater for a big guy. Yeah. Big, good just first step, even as a forward. But like, I like that he's got that piss and vinegar game too. I mean, I really appreciate guys who can consistently play the body, and when you have that speed and playmaking ability, he's just a dangerous kind of player. In the realms of, at least we're not in the United States Hockey League, but I did think of Jackson Danger Crowder. Shout out to Pound Town. But yeah, I just really like it. And when I looked at least in terms of, I think he leads seniors. I could be wrong. In points per game, that's what I have written down. I could have changed. Yeah,
probably didn't change because their season's over.
Almost like 1.3 points per game.
That's unbelievable.
Cruz is 1.28. So he's got 1.29 right now, Strame. Okay, so maybe it changed a little.
Yeah, Strame, he had 44 points in 34 games.
Seems like a great guy, by the way. But it's funny because I've told you beforehand when the announcer, the kid Bennett was on a breakaway and he goes, and here's Bennett. In the low.
Well, they have students doing the play-by-play.
I would have tried.
Like, I can't tell you how many times during the season my friend Marga texted me like, these announcers cannot pronounce anyone's name, and so that's what happens when you have students doing it, and then of course us. Because we can't pronounce anyone's names either. But listen, we don't have the name pronunciation in front of us like any of these other people do. Because I
looked it up and I thought it was Schmeek.
Who cares? I mean, I'm sure Bennett cares, but
we care. But he's a nice kid. But
listen,
let him make
you know who we're talking about, at least. If you could figure out how to spell the name to Google him if you hear us say it.
Yeah. So, okay, we can move forward now. Who's next on your list? I'm curious.
All right, we haven't talked about this guy at all, but he's been really, really good for Michigan Tech, which is also not a team we really talk about. I think, you know where I'm going to go with this. Sardarian, that guy.
Sardarian.
He's been great this season. He had 44 points in 36 games, 12 goals, and 32 assists. That's solid. He was drafted, was that 88th overall by Buffalo in 2021. He stands out to me because, like, Michigan Tech, again, is not a team we really talk about at all, and that's generally for good reason. But he's definitely a guy that, like, should be talked about because he's been really good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, when I thought of Michigan Tech this season, I thought of Sardarian. So, you know, he's been fantastic for them this season. Yeah, it was 88th overall, by the way. I like him. He's big. Big Russian guy. Actually, I feel like he's the first Russian we've actually even talked about on this podcast.
Potentially.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he had a really, he was, I vaguely remember him with Youngstown. I mean, he only played 1 year. And then he transferred out of UNH.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
To Michigan, and like his stats, like
it was the same thing as Cruz. It was 2 years in New Hampshire, and then he
was
transferred.
Never as consistent. Like Cruz at least had a pretty decent freshman year, like sophomore year, like, but he just got continually the trajectory, like 7 to 14, 35, 44 points, and like as you said, he's not out of the University of Michigan. He's at Michigan Tech.
Yeah, so and it's just a direct upwards trajectory for him. He just gets better every season.
He is a slippery player. Yeah.
His sophomore season at UNH, he had 14 points in 32 games, but then the next season when he transferred to Michigan Tech, he had 35 points in 35 games. So that's a pretty staggering uptick there. Especially considering he transferred that year. That's kind of a big adjustment to make. Look what happened with Cruz. His transfer season, it was not his best season, but for Sardarian, it was a good season for him. Clearly, that move was good for him, and he's just been upticking it more every season that goes by. It's like he's getting more comfortable with himself. He's getting more confident, and that always results in better hockey. So I like what I've been seeing from Sardarian, especially because of the fact that he did struggle a little bit in the beginning of his college career.
Yeah, no, I agree. So hopefully Buffalo can jump on that. I mean,
Buffalo's
nice to
a
see the Sabres
wagon.
yeah, good to see
They're
them. They
unbelievable.
started
Shouts to
terrible
Jake
too.
Nitschke.
I have a lot of shout outs there. Premium Diesel Dome, the big
Yeah,
dog,
I knew that one
Owen
was
Power
coming.
and his family. And Donor family, great as Nail Gun. Shane Doan, legend.
They've been so fun to watch this
Mad
season.
Dog,
They've been
Nitschke.
unbelievable.
Love it. I love it. That's great. I really do. It's important to the city deserves it. They deserve it. Next on my list is Felix Trudeau. Trudeau? Is it?
I'm gonna say it's probably Trudeau.
Do you
I love
not
it. We
know
don't get a lot of guys named Felix.
Do you even know who this guy is?
Sacred Heart.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oops.
older guy. One of the older guys in this mix that we have. He's also 24, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, he's
24
23,
goals,
turning 24.
Speaking of 24 goals, 35 games. We'll see. I mean, it's pretty significant. I mean, I think
Bigger
we shout
guy
out
too.
Ryan Hardy too. Hurricane Hardy, at least because I think he's a Sacred Heart alumni. I always get that and Holy Cross mixed up.
I know. Wait, but I just want to back up a second because we're going on like a theme here, really unintentionally. Another guy who transferred after his sophomore season to a different school. He came from University of Maine to Sacred Heart, and another guy who had a staggering, and I cannot stress staggering enough, a staggering uptick in his production. When he was at University of Maine his sophomore year, he only had 5 points in 24 games. And then his first season at Sacred Heart, he had 38 points in 39 games. That's a crazy uptick there. This year he had 43 points in 35 games, so he's another player that just keeps getting better.
Yeah, and I haven't really watched. I don't watch much of, Sacred. Like, let's be real. I mean, but I do follow, and he's had a good year. Yeah, so that's this kind of stuff where you sort of, I mean, on paper, he's not the let's say like 6'2", 190, great. Can he skate?
Not huge, not tiny.
Can he skate? I mean, I don't know.
Well, one thing that stands out a little bit to me, he does take quite a bit of penalty. He had 81 penalty minutes this year. That's but like it's crazy because also like you're looking at his plus minus, which is like if he was on the ice when a goal for the other team scored.
Maybe he got like a match or something.
Plus 11. Yeah, he probably did get like a 10 and a 5 or something like that.
Sometimes that'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but like even the season before he had 64 penalty minutes, so kind of would like him to clean up his game a little bit more.
Yeah,
right. He's not drafted. So,
and I don't know the kid. He could be the biggest ever. I mean, it's like I don't care.
Well, sometimes it pays off in hockey to be an asshole, but
no. And he was in the BCHL for junior days, so I always look into that too. I'm like, what's the and that's a tough league.
He had a lot of penalty minutes in the BCHL too.
Maybe he's got some, but maybe he isn't.
He spent a full hour in the penalty box, all his penalty minutes combined, a full hour in the penalty box. That's crazy.
That's a whole game. Huh? That's a whole
game.
But
meanwhile, his brother's D3.
Yeah, whatever. No, it's interesting though. I mean, he's had a good year, man. So good for him. Maybe,
and again,
maybe if
staggering uptick. Like that is stunning. How much he's gotten better each year, and I think like that's like something that a lot of teams look at is okay. He's not getting discouraged by the fact that he had a bad season where he had 2 seasons in a row where he didn't even break 10 points, but for him to transfer and not be impacted by the change of transferring at all and create this huge uptick in production, that's pretty incredible. I think, but again, I think teams are also looking maybe he needs to clean up his game a little bit because he can't be taking that many penalties, especially in the NHL, especially now in the NHL too, where it's crunch time for a lot of teams.
Right.
Like a lot of these teams are calling up players because they're desperate to make a playoff push. And granted, I don't think necessarily most of the guys that we're talking about now are going to make their NHL debut. They might. Brody Lamb might make his NHL debut, and not necessarily near future, but not far future. But again, a lot of teams are trying to make a push right now, and a big part of penalty push. Oh, sorry, oh my God, playoff push. I'm struggling to speak right now. Big part of playoff push is playing clean, good hockey, because you can't be taking unnecessary penalties right now. It's
right.
It impacts the game too much. You can't be doing it.
Sure.
So
yeah,
yes, Felix has been a great story of adversity and overcoming it, but clean up his game a little bit more, and you got a pretty good hockey player out of him.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Right. But I got another guy that you like. This is a name you will absolutely recognize and get a little excited about. How about Lucas Gustafsson? He's our senior with BC defenseman. Yeah, I knew you were gonna like that. I knew you were gonna like that one.
Yeah, give me a stat, actually.
So this season in 34 games, he's got 20 points, 6 goals, and 14 assists. Pretty comparable to last year. In 35 games, he had 15, 2 goals, 13 assists.
I like that.
There's been an uptick there.
Good.
Yeah, I like that from him too. I think, when we were at the Steel, like, I was hearing about this guy like every day. Like, I didn't know who he was at the time.
The goose on the loose.
Yeah, the goose, but he's been good for BC.
That's one that's kind of like lost in there. Yeah, the nickname, but defenseman can ski. Good. I mean, he should be able to get a crack. And I wonder what's his plus minus.
Let's see. He's -2 this year, but last year he was plus 16.
Wonder.
So
I haven't really. Good. No, I mean he could be.
He had the C this year too for Boston College. What I like about him is he's very deliberate. Like, he doesn't make a pass just to make a pass. Like, he thinks about it wholly, and like everything, every potential outcome that could come from making a pass, he considers it before he actually does it. And of course, that consideration comes within like a millisecond, but he's still like quick on his feet, but again, very deliberate with what he's doing. He's never just gonna pass the puck to get it off his stick. Like, he's gonna think about where it's gonna end up.
Yeah,
if it comes off his blade. So
good scouting report. Good skater.
Thank you. Yes, he's a good skater. Again, BC seems to like him.
Goose, very deliberate. Yep, yeah, goose on the loose. Yep.
And pretty unique. He's born in Georgia.
Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
His dad
is the Thrasher legend, right?
I think he played in like the minor leagues, and I forget where, but yeah, I think he played in Atlanta for a little. I think he's like.
I support bring back the Thrashers. Third time's the charm.
Wow.
Third time's the charm to me.
You could sell yourself right now. I mean, I think it's a soccer market.
He actually did not play for the Thrashers, but
he was like he played for like the Mudbugs or something. I think, right? That was...
New Orleans Brass. I've never even heard of that team before.
Like the IHL, I think, maybe. I don't know.
That was ECHL.
Wow.
It was EC, yeah.
That's something. Yeah, I like Lucas a lot. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Lucas.
All right, so let's move on. I like. How about this guy, Lucas Wallen? What do you think, Rach?
Well, tell me your little report on him. Tell me what you like about him.
University of St. Thomas. Well, I like that he's been the captain the last 3 years. I think that, he's not undersized, 6 feet. 170, so a little lighter, but still, if he can, at least bulk up like a little bit, he doesn't even need to. He's just a quick, witty player, and 21 goals this year too. So let's see his stats though, official.
And I think
I don't have them
St. Thomas is kind of a team that almost falls through the cracks for a lot of people. because there's just so many
including
good
myself.
college hockey schools in Minnesota that St. Thomas is like across the street. Like it's really close to University of Minnesota, but it hasn't been D1 for
24.
very long.
So he's got a career high this year, 21 goals. That's what I have. But so he had 21,
great.
30, 41, and 38 points this year. But like similar to last year, does take the penalties too a bit.
Not
I mean,
as bad though.
Miles.
He went down. He went down this year.
Oh, won a game though, or maybe won every other game. Sorry.
But you know,
the
what's
point
fun is that he could play both sides of the wing. That's pretty unique.
And I just think that he's undrafted. So I mean, now that he's through college, he could get a sniff. So I just, again, kind of an underrated player.
He will be 25
is under the radar. Under the radar, though. Maybe, maybe not.
Again, St. Thomas hasn't been D1 for that long. So, like when I was in college, I don't think they were D1 when I was still at Minnesota. So, I've known guys who have been on St. Thomas who have gone through the system. Actually, one of the guys from my first junior team was on St. Thomas. And it's just amazing how many strides they've made to like be competitors against these other really good Minnesota colleges. You know, again, they do fall through the cracks a little bit because you got Mankato, you got UMD, you got the Gophers, you got St. Cloud, you got all these guys within like a certain mile radius. So you forget that St. Thomas is there a little bit. But I like giving him a shout out.
I like Gaffney too, but I don't know if he's gonna. Alex Gaffney's a kind of a late bloomer player. He's got good wheels, but I'm not sure. He's undersized forward too. But him and whatever his face was, I don't even know his name here.
Wallen?
Yeah. They've had good seasons for St. Thomas. So both of those guys can be put under the same umbrella. Gaffney's had a good senior year.
I think this was a good season for St. Thomas. I think they really put up good fights against, the people that they were playing. Yeah, Gaffney was leading St. Thomas in points.
That's all.
And you had Wallen like a point below him, but
I kept thinking of Morgan Wallen. I was like, Reese or Morgan or what? Like, okay.
Isn't that the singer? Yeah, but like you look at
Morgan Wallen.
St. Thomas.
Oh my God. Anyway, let's move forward because I only have like one or two more guys on my list. So
I do want to say though about St. Thomas, again they fall through the cracks, and you look at their roster and there aren't that many guys whose names kind of stand out to you. So they're still a little bit in their building stage. It's kind of hard to recruit when you have University of Minnesota literally across the street, and St. Cloud and Duluth not far. So I mean Duluth is like 2-3 hours north, but still like those are the when you think about Minnesota college hockey, you don't think about St. Thomas. Like you don't. But it's honestly more of a credit to Wallen for having such a good season.
Right.
Because of the fact he's not getting that much support from the people around him. Gaffney was really good this season, but it's one of those teams like what team were we talking about? Was it Western Michigan or Michigan State, where it's like a couple of guys are like the producers and then it just drops off. And that's what happens when you have a school like University of St. Thomas, that its recruiting is still not exactly in the place that it wants it to be. So, but again, guys like Wallen can help with the recruiting, because look at it. You got a guy who was undrafted, had a great season, and it's possible he might sign an NHL contract. They do have a couple of draft picks on there, but
why not?
Right? Exactly. Why not? But I'm going back to defenseman here. I've got and I hate saying this because I hate Wisconsin, but I've got Ben Dexheimer from University of Wisconsin. He's been good for them.
Gross.
He's 35 games, 24 points, 6 goals and 18 assists for a defenseman. He's been really good for them. He's
one of my favorite
undrafted
players.
guy.
He's my last player. One of my last.
You know where he's from? Edina, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. What's up with that?
Well, I got to coach at Edina for a season, and it's amazing the talent that comes through that. It's a public school. Like, it's not like it's like Shattuck St. Mary where, you get recruited to play there. Like, this is just like a public high school. It's just Edina creates unbelievable hockey players. There have been so many great players that have come out of Edina. It's something's in the water. I don't know what's going on over there. Who's the best? That's a good question. I had to think about this. I was not prepared to answer this question. But, like Jimmy Clark on the Gophers, who was on the Green Bay Gamblers when I was in the USHL. He was actually on that team I helped coach. But yeah, Edina really, they create some monsters over there. I don't know exactly what does it for them. Maybe it's just because they're in a good location in terms of like proximity to Minneapolis and St. Paul. But Dexheimer, he's a defenseman that's not afraid to jump into the play. And I like that, especially because he is somewhat of an undersized guy. He's only 5'10", which only 5'10", that is taller than the average man, but he's 5'10". He's like 165 pounds, which good, I guess good weight for a guy that size, but stayed his whole time in Wisconsin, had the C this year. He had a really good sophomore season, but he's been pretty consistent.
I love this player. Yeah.
Last year was a little bit of a tough one for him.
Wisconsin guy.
Wisconsin's been kind of all over the place.
It's awesome.
They're one of those teams where they're like flashes of being really good, but then flashes of not being so fantastic. But hey, this guy, again, like I was saying, disciplined hockey is really important this time of the year for the NHL. He only had 6 penalty minutes in 35 games played. That's the most he had in the season in college was 16. So that's pretty solid.
I think he's a really good skater, moves the puck too, fits like Middlestad. I think
I agree.
will definitely get a contract somewhere.
Yeah, I think Middlestad is actually
defensemen are valued player. Like that, obviously too. That can. Is he a left-handed shot? He might be a right-handed shot.
No, he's righty.
That's even better.
Yeah, I feels like the NHL is lacking some right-handed defensemen.
Yeah.
Like, I know just from covering the Sharks that if the Sharks need one thing, it's a right-handed defenseman. And they don't have many of those in their system. They have Eric Polkamp, who we'll get to on our junior episode.
Our junior's loaded, I think. Honestly.
Juniors are loaded. Juniors are like the best class right now, especially. I mean, we might be a little bit biased because we know a lot of these guys, but juniors are pretty loaded. They're going to be fun to talk about in a couple of weeks. But yeah, we're talking about our seniors right now. Dexheimer's a guy who jumps into the play, but he also knows when to fall back when you need him to. But he's also not going to let you just like walk all over him on the blue line. Yeah. Like, he's not letting you pass that blue line. He's not. Like, he takes up.
Skating. Yeah,
it's like he's like 4 times the size of what he actually is, especially when he's guarding that blue line, like protecting the puck from exiting the zone. Like, I really like him. Hard for me to say as a Gopher that I really like a Badger, but
I think he's just that's big, but he can. I want to say I don't know the official stats, but like a good example would be retrievals or something like that. Some foot races for a guy that's a defenseman like that, as he said, he can cover the ice like he's twice. Would I say he hits like that? No, but he's very fluid, and then he
takes up space.
He's got that offensive upside though, so he can go both ways. I think pretty well, and he's similar to Middlestad. They played together in Madison.
Yep.
With the Caps, and I was like infatuated with those two particularly. I was like, Luke is the best Middlestad I've ever seen. I think. But I love it, Rach, because that's my last guy. I don't really. There's another Daniel Russell I have. He's is he another St. Thomas guy? Sorry. Daniel Russell.
I do not have him on my list.
Michigan State. Yeah, Michigan State. Yeah, kind of gets lost.
Which again is another team that's just like they've got some really, really good guys, and then it just drops.
Yeah, he is quick, but he's undersized forward, like tiny, like 160 pounds right now.
What's his height?
Is he a senior? like 5'10".
I mean, that's not tiny for a guy who's
24
5'10",
this
but
year. He's had a decent year. I don't know though. Again, I just want to give him, a little shout out. I think he's just a quick player, decent playmaker. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I don't have any because Dexheimer's my last guy. I love that player.
I
Yeah, good to
got
see
one
him have
more
a nice.
guy. I got one more
Who you
guy.
got?
I got Brandon Holt from University of Maine.
Oh.
So, defenseman, he was tied 4th for defensive scoring. So, did pretty well
Wow.
for himself this year. He had 32 points in 34 games played. So
Wow.
6 goals and 26 assists. And again, University of Maine has produced some really amazing players, but
Victor Osman.
they've also like lost some guys through the transfer pool.
My friend.
What do you say?
Victor. The Osman says no.
Okay. He's another guy who's older though. So he'll be 25 in April. But he's pretty big for like a guy who's under 6 feet tall. He's 180 pounds. Like
I forgot him on my list, but
that's a big boy, and he had a plus 15
upside,
as the captain of University of Maine. As a defenseman, I love seeing a defenseman with a really high plus like that. That means he did not let any goals happen while he was on the ice for the most part. That's pretty awesome. Another guy with really, really low penalty minutes. He only had 8 this season. His first season, actually, in 24 games, he had 2. He only took 1 penalty in 24 games. That's a disciplined player right there, and I really like that out of him. Another guy who's not drafted, but I don't know, he might not have the highest ceiling out of all of these guys, but he's also like the only one who didn't come out of the USHL. He came out of the NAL, which is a step below the USHL, so that's even more of a credit to him. He's had, again, a good season. 26 assists, that's unreal. And a plus 15, that's unreal. That's
on Maine, good one.
Yeah,
under the
Maine,
radar.
Again, that's another team that like kind of people forget about a little bit. And again, it's they produced a lot of really
Greg
great
Moore,
players.
Shout out to Victor Osman, Greg Moore, Matthew Duchamp. They're all alumni, but the point is this. That's a good one, Rachel, because I think I saw him on a list somewhere, and I,
you
for whatever reason,
probably saw him on the top defensive scoring because again he was tied for 4th in top D scoring. But yeah, I'm looking at University of Maine's roster right now, and aside from the handful of draft picks they have, no one really stands out that much on their roster. But again, you have a defenseman who was leading the entire team in points, and he was leading in assists too. That's some good stuff from Brandon Holt there. I like that. I hope he gets a contract because he deserves it. He's worked really hard for it. That's a guy who, it's like what I said before, you can't put a number on grit and determination, and he's definitely a guy who has that determination and fuel behind him. He's got a fire in him, and I think any NHL team would be lucky to have him if they can get their hands on him.
Yeah. And there's also a Brandon Holt tennis player as well.
It makes me think of, have you ever seen Arrested Development? It makes me think of Steve Holt.
No.
Steve Holt.
Heard of it.
Great show. All right.
Yeah, he's really under the radar, Rach. Good catch.
He is. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to end the episode without mentioning him, because he absolutely deserves that mention. Again, to be on University of Maine and be the best player on that team as a defenseman, leading in total points and assists, that's some good stuff there. That's some really good, and again, disciplined player.
He got me
disciplined player.
I did not have him on my list, so that's where I
know we usually are like pretty on like par with each other. We usually have a lot of the same guys on our lists, so I'm glad I was able to sneak Brandon in there. Yeah, there's a lot of seniors right now who, firstly, not drafted, a lot of these guys we just talked about were not drafted. Sardarian, Lucius, and Charlie were the only ones.
Lucius is drafted, Rachie.
I'm saying those are the only guys who were drafted
Right.
that we talked about. But most of these guys weren't drafted. Dexheimer's not. Gustafson's not. Holt's not. Tracy's not. Hughes isn't.
Somebody sign Tracy, for Christ's sake.
I know, right? Especially with like the goaltending situation and a lot of the teams right now. It stresses me out. Some of them. Again, Edmonton is a mess. It makes no sense to me that they've made zero effort to get better goaltending.
Tristan
They said, let's trade Stuart Skinner, Stuart blind in both eyes, Skinner, for Tristan Jarry. What was that? They traded one bad goalie for another one. So, Edmonton, if you're listening, Alex Tracy is available, and you should definitely snatch him up because he is a great goalie. He is a great goalie. He deserves a contract. But lots of contracts are going to be signed within the next few weeks, and even more so after the Frozen Four in a month. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Mississauga Snake's going to be eating cash.
Watch out for Michael Hage. We'll talk about him more in the next episode when we cover our sophomores, but a lot of fun talent to look out for entering the NHL now that the NCAA college hockey regular season is over.